Bleeder resistor. This is a very important topic in concerned with the rectifiers and rectifiers with filters. Now let us see what is the meaning of bleeder resistor. So bleeder resistor is a resistor which is connected in parallel with load resistor. So bleeder resistor is a resistor which is connected in parallel with the load resistor along with the filter. Filter circuit. The filters may be capacitor filter, inductor filter, LC filter or CLC filter. Now, why this bleeder resistor is connected across the load and what are the main advantages of connecting this bleeder resistor with the load? So here in this block diagram, I have shown AC input. This AC input is given to the half wave rectifier or a full wave rectifier. Then here at these points we obtain pulsating DC. So for waveforms, if you want to show, we can show the waveforms like this. This is a sine waveform here. Then for the full wave rectifier, we obtain pulsating DC like this. Now this inductor and this capacitor forms the LC filter. Now this LC filter, now it is connected with a resistor named RB. So this is a bleeder's resistor. And then we connect the load. And here we get the output. This is RL. So this bleeder resistor is connected in parallel with the load resistor along with the filter. So this is a filter circuit, this is a bleeder resistor and this is a load. So we can write here load and this is a bleeder resistor. Now why we are connecting a bleeder resistor and why it is called as a bleeder resistor? So what are the advantages and what is the main purpose of connecting the bleeder's resistor? First point, it maintains minimum current necessary for optimum operation of the inductor. So this is inductor L. So the first and the most important part is that the bleeder's resistor maintains minimum current which is required, which is necessary for the optimum operation of the inductor. Second point is that it improves voltage regulation of the supply by acting as a preload. Now what is the meaning of preload? Preload means the load which is connected prior to the main load. So this is our main load and this is the preload. So it improves the voltage regulation of the supply by acting as a preload on the supply. So what is the meaning of voltage regulation? So voltage regulation means it is the ratio of change in full load voltage with respect to no load voltage. So this voltage regulation can be studied in detail when we will study the regulated power supplies, or when we will study the Zener diode as a voltage regulator. Then we will see the two features of the Zener diode voltage regulator, such as line regulation and load regulation. So voltage regulation means there must be no change in the output voltage with respect to change in the load. No, the output voltage must be constant with respect to the change in the voltage. Output voltage, this output voltage must remain constant although the load changes. And the third point is that this bleeder resistor provides safety to the person handling the equipment. Equipment means any device which requires a DC voltage. This equipment means this load resistor. So this bleeder resistor provides safety to the person handling the equipment by acting as a discharging path for the capacitors. Now what is the meaning of this? How it is providing the safety? Say for example, if the device is on, this rectifier along with the filter, this device is on, and say for example this bleeder resistor is not present and the supply is on, and at the same time by mistake if I touch this output, so there is a chance that the capacitor will fully discharge through my body and it may be hazardous. So to prevent the sudden discharge of a capacitor through human body, we provide a discharging path by connecting a parallel resistor, that is the bleeder resistor, along with the load resistor. So the capacitor which was previously discharging through our body in the absence of load resistor, now this will discharge through, this capacitor will discharge through the bleeder resistor, and ultimately it will be connected to the ground. So in this way it provides safety to the person handling this overall regulated power supply. So once again we will revise what is the bleeder resistor and why it is essential. So bleeder resistor, it is denoted by RB, R suffix B. It is the resistor which is connected in parallel to the load. It is connected in between the load and the filter. So it maintains the minimum current necessary for the optimum operation of the inductor. Means the inductor must act as a filter, and for that it requires a minimum current, and that minimum current is provided by this bleeder resistor. Then it improves the voltage regulation of the supply by acting as a preload to the supply. And third, it provides safety to the person which is handling the equipment by acting as a discharging path to the capacitor. हिंदी में अगर हम इसको बोलना चाहें तो ब्लीडर रजिस्टर एक ऐसा रजिस्टर है जो कि मेन हमारा जो आउटपुट डिवाइस है, जिसे हम लोग लोड कहते हैं, ये हमारा आउटपुट डिवाइस है. मैं इसको मेंशन कर देता, आउटपुट डिवाइस जिसे हम लोड कहते हैं या फिर लोड रजिस्टर बोलते हैं. तो जो हमारा लोड रजिस्टर है या फिर आउटपुट डिवाइस है, इसके और फिल्टर के बीच में हम लोग ब्लीडर रजिस्टर लगाते हैं, यानी एक रजिस्टर ही है, सिंपल रजिस्टर ही है. अब ये लगाने से क्या फायदा है? तो ये लगाने से सबसे बड़ा पहला फायदा ये है कि ये जो इंडक्टर फिल्टर है, इस इंडक्टर फिल्टर को अच्छे से काम करने के लिए जो भी मिनिमम करंट चाहिए इसको ठीक से ऑपरेट होने के लिए, तो मिनिमम करंट प्रोवाइड करता है ये ब्लीडर रजिस्टर। सेकेंड थिंग, ये वोल्टेज रेगुलेशन को इंप्रूव करता है। एंड थर्ड थिंग, सपोज ये यहां पे आरएल मैंने रिमूव कर दिया, यानी ये लोड मैंने डिवाइस, आउटपुट डिवाइस है उसे मैंने रिमूव कर दिया, और सडनली रिमूव करते वक्त सपोज ये पूरा यूनिट ऑन है और मेरा गलती से हाथ इन दो पॉइंट्स पे लग गया, तो क्या होगा, ये जो कैपेसिटर ने जो चार्ज स्टोर करके रखा है वो पूरा मेरे बॉडी से डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगा और मुझे शॉक लग सकता है, हो सकता है कि मेरा हाथ जल जाए। तो सेफ्टी प्रॉब्लम, सेफ्टी इश्यूज आ जाते हैं। अब मुझे यानी एंड यूजर को, कोई भी पर्सन जो इस सर्किट को हैंडल कर रहा है उसको सेफ्टी कैसे प्रोवाइड किया जाए, तो सडन डिस्चार्ज रोकने के लिए हम एक रजिस्टर लगाएंगे इस लोड के पहले, तो उसे हम कहेंगे ब्लीडर्स रजिस्टर, क्योंकि ये पूरा का पूरा करंट हैंडल करेगा। जो मेरे बॉडी में से हैंडल होने वाला फ्लो या किसी की भी बॉडी में से फ्लो होने वाला था ड्यू टू मिस हैंडलिंग ऑफ दिस डिवाइस, तो वो अभी पूरा करंट कहां से फ्लो होगा, इस ब्लीडर रजिस्टर से। और यही नाम है कि उसको ब्लीडर कहा जाता है, बिकॉज ये खुद का सैक्रिफाइस कर देता है, पूरा का पूरा करंट खुद ही झेल लेता है, इसलिए उसका नाम रखा गया है ब्लीडर रजिस्टर। So this is all about bleeder register. To review, we will just see what is the meaning of voltage regulation. So we will discuss voltage regulation. So what is the meaning of voltage regulation? So voltage regulation means it is the ability of a regulator to provide, it is the ability of regulator, ability of a, we can say, regulated power supply, especially DC regulated power supply. So it is the ability of a regulated power supply, especially the DC regulated power supply, to provide constant DC output voltage, to provide constant DC output voltage, which is essential for independent of the input voltage. Second, output load and temperature. What does it mean? It means that output voltage is constant. Which conditions? First, variations in input voltage. Second, variations in load. And third, variations in temperature. So voltage regulation means it is the ability of a regulated power supply, especially the DC regulated power supply, to provide the constant DC output voltage regardless of variations in the input voltage, regardless in the variations in the output load, regardless in the variation of temperature. इसका मतलब क्या है, जो रेगुलेटेड पावर सप्लाई है उसके आउटपुट में कांस्टेंट डीसी वोल्टेज मिलेगा, फिक्स्ड डीसी वोल्टेज मिलेगा, भले ही हम लोगों ने आउटपुट में डिवाइस चेंज कर दिया है या फिर इनपुट में वोल्टेज फ्लक्चुएट हो रहा है। मींस यहां पे हम डायग्राम में देखेंगे, भले ही इस आरएल का वैल्यू चेंज हो रहा है, भले ही इस इनपुट सिग्नल का वैल्यू चेंज हो रहा है, या फिर इसका वैल्यू चेंज हो रहा है, इस एसी इनपुट का वैल्यू चेंज हो रहा है, या फिर इस पल्सेटिंग डीसी का वैल्यू चेंज हो रहा है, या फिर इस आरएल का वैल्यू चेंज हो रहा है, जो आउटपुट वोल्टेज है डीसी वो हमेशा कांस्टेंट रहेगा। या फिर टेम्परेचर की वजह से किसी कंपोनेंट का, स्पेशली रेक्टिफायर का अगर ऑपरेशन में वेरिएशंस आ रहे हैं, फिर भी आउटपुट में अगर कांस्टेंट डीसी वोल्टेज मिल रहा है तो उसे हम कहेंगे अ वोल्टेज रेगुलेटर। So this is about the bleeder resistor and voltage regulation. So it improves the voltage regulation. It improves safety to the person which handles the device, and also it maintains minimum current necessary for the optimum operation of the inductor. So this is about the bleeders resistor, and it is very important that it should be connected across a load whenever we are using the DC regulated power supply. Thank you very much.